Ahoy, mutants, and welcome to another episode of Study of X. I am your host, Tim, and this is a X-Men podcast where we are going to cover the Krakoa era of X-Men comics. But I can't do it alone, and with me, as always, is Sergio and Chris.
We're not covering Marauders today.
No, we are not. But we can feel the spirit in our hearts.
We can. Instead, we're covering the British?
Yeah. Hold up. Let me give a tally ho, mutants.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody is very, very happy with that, especially if they're from Britain.
Yeah.
That's a special one for our British friends.
Yeah. Tally ho. Yeah. So we got two issues of Excalibur this week before we go into our first very large issue 1 of Wolverine.
Yeah, that is very, very fun, honestly. I'm really looking forward to talking about that one. But Excalibur is coming first.
Yep. Let's get to it, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So for Excalibur number 7, verse 7, The Unspeakable and the Uneatable. This is still written by Teenie Howard, and it was released originally in February of 2020. We're just jumping right into it here after the aftermath of last issue, where Betsy is having Richter bury the sword that her brother now has. And honestly, I think Rogue has a point that maybe Betsy should have talked to her brother a bit more than simply accept it, throw the sword away, and let's not talk about it.
Yeah, but I kind of get her point too. This is maybe just be done with it. He's kind of going through a hard time. You can get it back later. Richter has Earth powers.
I think this comic could do with one less thread, so it's okay to just cut it here for now.
Yeah, just
save it for later.
Put it in the pit. Yeah, so we're quickly done with that, and Betsy goes and visits her brother Jamie.
The other brother that certainly has less issues going on, maybe?
Yeah.
Probably not. I actually am not sure about that one. But she is here specifically looking for Apocalypse, and after a spat between the two siblings, she is shown where he is in his library with Exodus, and is either sharing his journal and memos, or is just kind of waving papers around. It might be both, but it's very cool regardless.
I enjoy the implication that Apocalypse invited Exodus over to have a sleepover where they read books.
Ooh, I also like that. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, he's just chilling. Just has his friend over.
Hey, bestie, you want to come over and just read some stuff?
Yeah, I got some grimoires.
Yeah, we can talk about magic and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
But also, specifically, this is the first other mutant into Otherworld that has happened so far without the use of Captain Britain or any other weird magic nonsense. So the portal that they opened, it works. Mutants can now freely go from a Krakoan portal to Otherworld.
Yeah, and that seems to be kind of the point that this scene is just trying to show, that mutants are just welcome to come here now. Betsy and Apocalypse get into a spat, and Apocalypse reassures her that he's on her side.
It very ominously says that this place now is Krakoa.
Yeah. Betsy seems unsure, but he gives her a book to read.
He's like, hey, read my journal of my secret thoughts so you can tell I have been for Krakoa this whole time.
Apocalypse puts on his best school teacher impression here and tells Betsy that the question she's asking is in the text, which, I don't know, that's just a funny line delivery to me.
Look, we've read some of that text. I don't think she's going to be satisfied with what's on it.
Yeah.
It's not at all clear.
I want to see Betsy trying to make sense of Apocalypse's just nonsense pages. Like
why the X is superior as a shape?
As above, so below. Yeah.
It's just really concise. Really explains it all.
Yeah.
Lays it all out.
It just makes sense. But so they need some skulls of some warwolves.
Yep, and they are in the London Zoo, according to Apocalypse, which not only makes it easy for them, but he also figured this would be nice for Shogo to go out and see the zoo.
Yeah, and Shogo's eating dirt right now as a dragon. That's fun.
I mean, what else would you do if you are a baby that is a dragon in the magical world?
Chris, what do you know about warwolves?
When I was reading this the first time, absolutely nothing. I had no idea what they were. They looked cool. They're on the cover of this issue. They're cool, metallic, almost bird-like wolves. They're very neat, honestly. But looking into them, we're going to get all of their info in this comic. It's pretty self-explanatory how they work. But I did find out that they were originally introduced back in the first ever issue of Excalibur back in 1987. So
Yes.
they are Excalibur's first enemy.
Yes. Yeah, they came from Mojoverse. They're, again, shapeshifters, skin stealers, more than shapeshifters, actually. But yeah, pretty threatening. Sergio, what do you know about Mojoverse?
I'm pretty sure that's a card in. It's been so long since I played, I don't remember the name anymore.
Yeah.
With how far we've fallen from our.
I know, from our
regular
Marvel
segment.
Snap corner.
I know.
Yeah,
We need to bring it back.
pretty sure that's a card or an event or something.
I think it's a location.
It is a location. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember what it did.
Mojoverse's location, was Mojo in that game, though?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
At least not when we were playing.
So
I did not know that was named after someone.
yeah, so Mojo is in charge of Mojoverse. He is a big-looking dude, kind of a gross-looking big guy, and the whole vibe of that is it's a parallel dimension that he rules, and he's real into the concept of TV and putting people through dangerous things to get entertainment.
Okay, so Mojo is a card, and I'm pretty sure he was in the game when we were playing it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
He just was a not memorable card, so neither of us remember him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I once you said you knew that Mojoverse was in the game, I'm just like, yeah, I bet there's a card of Mojo. But yeah,
he was there.
so this is our first name drop of Mojoverse in the Krakoan era. That's kind of funny. But yeah, so I guess we go out to the lawn where Shogo, the problem Jubilee is dealing with is Shogo doesn't want to be a baby. He just wants to be a dragon.
Honestly, kid, same.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine, yes, this does suck for Jubilee having to try and raise a small boy who can be a dragon, but so would everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, come on, this is so cool.
Like, I cannot blame this toddler. This is just a good choice.
So, but thankfully, Betsy does have a good idea, and that Megan could probably look after him, since she is magical and related to the Fae. So maybe she knows how to handle a dragon better than they do.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So yeah, we get our data page here about the warwolves, and yeah, apparently humans have tried to appeal to their more humanoid nature, and it didn't work. They didn't know what they were doing, and they have managed to just really dumb down the warwolves, but they're still really violent.
I don't know if there's a something to be said about the creatures losing their like magical attributes by virtue of just being in the real world. I feel like there might be an element of that, so they just kind of become animals or more animalistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's something there for that. It's not explored too much, which is unfortunate, but that does seem to be an underlying idea behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this suggestion that it is somehow humanity's fault by treating them like animals, I suppose.
Yeah, so this data page is supposedly written by Apocalypse, who might be a tad biased. But yeah, Apocalypse seems pretty confident that this is humans doing here.
Yeah, but I think there might be an element of just by virtue of being in a non-magical world, they start becoming non-magical as well. I think that's a pretty common trope.
Yeah, but the thing, I could see that. The only thing is the warwolves aren't really coming from Otherworld. Mojoverse isn't quite magic.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
So, but I agree with the theme there. I just don't know if that's quite what was happening here. Apocalypse might be right, but we'll move on from that to the London Zoo.
Yes, and we learn from Betsy and Jubilee and our friend Pete Wisdom that somebody has just bought all of the warwolves. And the lady here is not being very forthcoming with that information.
I don't think this is how the British zoo works. Why are they talking to this lady?
Yeah, like, is this just a zookeeper? I guess they were just trying to locate them, and they just, like, asked someone at the zoo, and she just said they were sold. But, yeah, I don't know. This seems like a incorrect way to get werewolves if you need them.
It feels like they asked the lady that feeds the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that she has a tinge of anti-mutant bias about her.
Uh-huh.
You know, she's very pointedly says, you know, maybe it's easy to take care of monsters where you mutants live. Which they weren't going to win this conversation if she's coming into it like that.
Uh-huh. With a sprinkle of "why are you asking me?"
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's the bad of both. So, but Jubilee apparently is an expert hacker and is able to hack into the zoo database and found out who bought them. And with this victory under their belt, Pete Wisdom decides, hey, why don't we all go for a drink?
It is Pete Wisdom, I believe, that actually hacks this.
Oh, is it Pete Wisdom?
Yeah, well, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Now I'm getting the scene now. Pete is kind of giving it to, or saying that Jubilee is hacking it.
Mm-hmm.
But it does feel like the intention here, at least how I read this scene, was Pete was having the British kind of take the fall for this instead of Krakoa. But also, this is just some random zookeepers. I don't know if I don't know if they care that much.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Because, yeah, you can read it either way. Either it's the British government that's doing it, or it is Jubilee that's doing it. Either way, they get the information.
Yeah.
And then they go out to karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thankfully, the person who bought them is also here at karaoke, because this is one of his few, quote, odd pursuits, including fox hunting. And here we meet Cullen Bloodstone. And I'll ask both of you, do either of you know who the Bloodstone family is?
Yes.
Oh, I don't.
I thought I'd ask, and you never know. So the Bloodstone family in Marvel Comics are a family of monster hunters. It started back with Ulysses Bloodstone, which is a very weird, very comic book character. He is an immortal caveman bent on hunting monsters and the Exomind. So there's that one for you. And mostly the Bloodstones are known for Elsa Bloodstone, which is Ulysses' daughter. She's the big one that's been around in a lot of comics. She's also in Werewolf by Night, the Marvel movie that is out on Disney+.
Yeah, the Halloween thing.
Yeah, which also, side note, was actually really, really good. I recommend that one. It was fun.
Yeah, but we cannot recommend it right now because it's a stroke word.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay. Can't do that. I take it back. Back to comics, though. Cullen Bloodstone is the younger brother of the Bloodstone family. He was in a bit of early comics in Avengers Arena in 2012, and that's where he got his debut. But he hasn't really done much since then, so this is his first time really coming back.
Yeah, Cullen was introduced in Avengers Arena as part of like the Braddock Academy, which was a new school also introduced for that comic. And he showed up in the sequel to that and played a pretty big part of it too, Avengers Undercover. It seems like he has been aged up, and in general, this feels like a pretty big departure for him character-wise. He's pretty different here. And by different, I mean just considerably more racist.
Yes. A very, very posh, upper-class British anti-mutant racist. I actually saw an image that you posted the other day of what he looked like in Avengers Arena. He is very different. I didn't realize that was the same character until you pointed it out.
Yeah, like this was a character I actually really liked from that comic, so it's interesting to see what they did with him here. I guess so. We'll move on a little bit.
Yeah, there's a bit of conversation here. Betsy's not too happy to see him. She really just wants the warwolves here, specifically their skulls. But Cullen fires back that he is a conservationist, and if she wants the skulls, she's going to have to participate in the hunt, or else he's not going to give them to her. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, the next page here is an invitation to the werewolf hunt at the Bloodstone Summer Lodge and Preserve.
Okay, I'll pull it back a little bit here, but I just would like to note that during this conversation, Colin is just being, like, not so subtly racist for, like, the whole thing.
Yeah, he does the thing that's going to come up a couple times, and it already has, of, hey, Betsy, if a war breaks out between Britain and mutants, where are you going to stand? Because you're both.
Yeah, like he says, there's a line here where he says the talk about whether or not you're the real deal. Betsy says I am, and then he just like immediately gets very defensive, and he's like, I don't hate mutants. I went to school with them. I have a mutant friend.
Yeah, I can't be anti-mutant. I have a mutant friend. I have several mutant friends.
Yeah, but yeah, Colin wants to be a sport about it, and so we're doing a werewolf hunt, just like a fox hunt, but werewolves.
Yeah, which I have learned is very illegal over in Britain. I in my brain, it was always a very old-timey kind of thing that you would see in movies, you know? I didn't know it was actually fully outlawed over there.
Yeah, Betsy says that in the next page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is honestly really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we immediately cut to the lodge. We have Cullen here on a horse with flaming nostrils and eyes, and also naked cats that are apparently hunting cats.
Oh, before that, I just wanted to mention, I thought it was funny that the attire was mentioned as Cape Casual on the invitation.
Yeah.
Yes, basically the opposite of the summit that we had a couple of episodes ago.
Uh-huh. I really like the invitation overall. I think that's a good use of it's not necessarily a data page, but one of those like full page things that show you extraneous information.
Yeah, it's a good page, I agree. I like the invitation. I feel like it kind of adds character. You get a very good idea of what they're kind of going for with Colin, I feel like, with just this page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're just getting into some hijinks.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but the whole gang is here, you know, Richter, Jubilee, Rogue, and Gambit. They're all here for this hunt, now that they need the skulls for Apocalypse. And immediately, things are off. Cullen runs off with his hunting cats to begin the hunt, and the rest of the mutants are slowly revealing to Gambit that, hey, Apocalypse asked us to do this, and we didn't tell you until you were here.
Yeah, Gambit is still very grumpy, by the way. Apparently, getting Rogue back did not change that.
Yeah, don't fault the guy. I honestly kind of feel like maybe they should have told him before they invited him out here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe. He does not seem happy about this task.
So, but in the spirit of this issue, there's not much time to discuss that, as Gambit is going to run off because he hears that somebody is in trouble. And he comes upon a helpless young woman in the forest, and he asks how he can help, but it is revealed that it is one of the warwolves wearing the skin of one of its victims to try and lure him in.
Yeah, we get a brief fight. Betsy cuts off its head, and that's one skull down.
Yeah, just, you know, very quickly being like, hey, this is how they work, this is what it looks like. It's a very creepy effect because the warwolf basically just peels the skin off by the mouth. It's, you know, it's silly in a comic book way, but it's also deeply unsettling.
Yeah, I thought that was a very effective panel.
Yeah. It
just pulling it down like a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
In general, I feel like this issue still has some Excalibur pacing going on, but it feels like the stuff that's being kind of rushed through feels much... Like, this feels like the stuff you should rush through.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think once we get to the end of the next issue of Excalibur, I'll go on more about that. But this very much feels like an episode of a Saturday morning cartoon where they needed filler.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a filler ass mini arc here.
Yeah.
Which does allow them to be more focused on one single thing to their benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. But we now have one skull, and there are 4 more to get. So the gang is going along once more. Richter is fairly certain he felt some more warwolves in a nearby cave, so he and Rogue are going to work together to try and take it out.
Yeah. So they do that. Cullen sees, gets a little bit angry, and watches Rogue as she's being like attacked by this werewolf.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. He's
just stands by.
Yeah, sitting on his horse, just being like, "Oh no, I could help you, but maybe you mutants need to lose a little bit so it can be even or something."
Yeah. So then Rogue says, "No, I'm not going to do that." Absorbs the werewolf's power and kills it. And Cullen gets mad about this and rides off.
Mm-hmm. With a not so subtle hint of maybe I will start attacking the mutants instead.
Yeah. Also, Rogue has a werewolf pelt now. It's a good look.
Yeah, good look. Kind of dark. Also, I understand her power is to drain things of their life and take their powers and everything. But wearing the pelt it's a bit much.
Yeah.
The
skull on the belt is kind of hardcore too, but also these werewolves kind of seem like assholes. So.
Yeah, no, they have been presented as, hey, these are predators. All they do is try to kill. They're not great.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't notice the skull until you pointed it out. That is really sick. Okay, I take it back, Rogue. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but they now have 2 wolves down, and they decide, hey, why don't we split up, make this go by faster? But before they're able to do so, Cullen is back with part of his inner demon coming out and begins to attack the mutants for breaking the rules.
Yeah, and that's the end of the issue.
Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think of Cullen here and his surprise inner demon?
Cullen might be, racist might be the wrong word, but definitely bigoted.
Yeah, he's not a good guy.
Yeah. You should read Avengers Arena at some point. It's pretty good.
I'll have to check it out. I'm just going to have a hard time distinguishing this Cullen, who is pompous and rich, and the other Cullen that you showed me, which is wearing like a skull t-shirt with long sleeves underneath it and looks like he walked out of a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game.
Yeah, that's the vibe. Just to let everyone know, Avengers Arena is it's battle royale, but superhero kids. It's good stuff. But anyway,
like child version of superheroes?
Yeah. Like X-23 is there when she's like a little bit younger as well.
Okay.
I get the vibe now that you're describing it. Kind of like Young Avengers.
Yeah, like 2 of the Runaways are in it. They get a couple of the Avengers Academy kids. They get like the Braddock Academy kids, and then like some just like one-offs of people that have been around. But yeah, it's supposed to be like they're basically doing battle royale.
Oh, maybe I will have to learn. That does sound fun.
Yeah, it's very good. I've read it a couple times at this point, but anyway, we should move on to this next issue of Excalibur.
Yes, because
it is pretty much a direct continuation, so we might as well discuss after we're done with this one.
Yeah, like we had said earlier, it's kind of like a filler arc, on a cartoon, so it is just going to pick up right away. So for Excalibur number 8, verse 8, The Unspeakable and the Uneatable number 2, still written by Teenie Howard, and this one was released in March of 2020. There was actually a month gap of releases between 7 and 8, so it's a good thing we're reading these together because they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But we are opening up here on 2 werewolves after they have killed a rabbit, and they sense the ongoing battle between Cullen and the mutants going on.
Yeah, and just leave. They fight for a little bit and talk Cullen down.
Surprisingly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was not expecting this to de-escalate so quickly.
He feels like a character who's really hard to nail down because, yeah, on one hand he's super bigoted and racist, and on the other he can be talked down like this. And he actually does sound reasonable and like super invested in what he calls sportsmanship. But then he's really bad at defining that, so that causes this whole to happen in the first place.
Yeah, but this fight, like this in the actual comic itself, this last one page, and yeah, he's again reasonable about it. He's just kind of like, yeah, let's sit down and talk. So we get our recap page, civility, and we're having a chat.
Yes, a very tense chat, as he mentions that these are politically charged times.
All conservatives want is just to debate.
Yeah, they just...
Oh, God, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
What's the name of this issue, by the way? I think we might have skipped that.
It was verse 8, The Unspeakable and the Uneatable 2.
Yeah.
It's just the same one as with the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally the sequel to this. Colin is, and our next page is talking at the mutants. Everyone looks very bored.
Except for Jubilee, who's very upset. And I think she has a right to be, because he goes on about, hey, we're doing this for fun. No demon, no mutant stuff from you guys. We'll just do everything like we're normal. And Jubilee does have a problem with that, because his demon is a parasite. Their mutant powers are innate to who they are, which I would also take offense to that as well.
Yeah, like he's saying this and she's just like, that's just who we are though. Like, this is a thing that was like, you just have this.
Yeah, so negative points here to Betsy for trying to tell Jubilee to like, hey, knock it off, don't poke the guy. But she's got a point.
Yeah, to be fair, she just wants to get this over with.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't blame her, you know. She still doesn't trust Apocalypse either, so she just kind of has to do this. But I feel like she could back up her friend Jubilee here a bit more.
Yeah, and Colin goes off to pout.
Yeah, he likes to do that. It's one of his favorite hobbies.
Yeah.
So, but we have a very nice and fun data page here that is a letter to all the noble Homo sapiens of Britain from our friends at Coven Akaba.
Well, yeah, and it seems specifically addressed to the Bloodstones, too.
Mm-hmm.
Or
yes.
Yeah, or executor thereof. But yeah, it's pretty much saying, like, hey, you know, MI13 seems to kind of be pro-mutant right now, so if you need some people to help you out with some mutant problems, you should call us. We'll kill them for you.
Mm-hmm.
We are not burdened by many of the same concerns of diversity.
Yep, and that was the line I was going to point out. It is, this is a letter.
Yeah.
Just in case we were curious where Coven Akaba stands on all of this.
Yeah.
They still hate mutants.
Yeah. Richter... Richter wants to go for a walk.
Yes, and also good for him for letting somebody know that he's going to go for a walk at the Weird Mansion instead of just leaving and something happening to him, because that is a trope that is done so many times.
Yeah.
So good for him for waking up Jubilee, who's just snoring her life away. So, but he wants to take a walk, kind of clear his head, and he catches Cullen Bloodstone on the phone with Coven Akaba, talking about how he might need some protection from the rowdy mutants that are currently at his home.
Yep. And then starts hitting on Richter.
Yes, very uncomfortably and awkwardly, honestly.
Yeah, but this last boyfriend Colin mentions, by the way, is a character from Avengers Arena. I actually think Super Ancient is an incorrect description, but like, yeah, it's pretty clear who he's talking about here.
And were they not openly boyfriends with each other like he mentions here?
No, Colin had a crush.
Ah, okay.
I'm pretty sure this dude was straight.
Gotcha. Okay. Because, yeah, Cullen does make a joke here about, that was my boyfriend, but he didn't know he was my boyfriend, so, you know.
Yeah. But, yeah, they kiss. Richter says, okay, I gotta go now. Colin's not here to talk politics. But yeah, Richter goes off to go tell Betsy about the phone call.
Yes. And honestly, this entire, I guess, meeting, encounter with Cullen and Richter, and then following up with what Betsy's going to be saying, I don't quite know what Teeny was trying to go for here. You know, it's already clear that Cullen is an asshole and he's not a good person. And he basically, forces a kiss upon Richter and he leaves flustered. But I don't know why they were doing that. Maybe just to point out that, like, hey, yeah, Richter's gay, but that seems like a weird thing to do in this moment.
Yeah,
he contains multitudes.
Yeah. I want to wait a couple pages and we'll get back to this, but I want to discuss Cullen a little bit because I think multitudes is the right description here.
Okay. Then we will move on because I'm wondering if you're also going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. Richter goes to Betsy's door and just bangs loudly on the door, calling her name.
Yeah.
And she answers, and he tells her, "Hey, I'm pretty sure Cullen called Coven Akaba. We should do something about this." And Betsy goes, "You seem a little flustered. Did you two, and very not so subtly implies, like, hey, I know what you just said was important, but did you two just make out?"
Yeah. Richter brushes this off and is just saying, like, hey, we should go just do this now. This is getting sketchy. Betsy wants to wait. Richter convinces her not to. So they're gonna go get skulls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I had said a bit ago, negative points here to Betsy for just kind of honing in on that. Like, it was very important. I feel like the Coven stuff was far more important than maybe if Richter kissed him or not. But
No. Betsy's got the right idea. That's what the people want.
That's what the people want? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, but yeah, no, like Tim said, they agree. They're like, okay, let's just go get the skulls now. So everybody is up and in their clothing and ready to go pretty quickly. And we do get a payoff for Rogue having the warwolf skin because she still does have its power, so she is able to turn into a warwolf.
Yeah. And they're gonna go kill some stuff. But yeah, so we get to our next page of Cullen making a drink and seeing some nonsense going on outside and throwing this stuff off the bar and saying fucking mutants.
Yeah, he really just wanted a nice, civil, no nonsense, no powers fox hunt. And he's just not gonna get it.
Yeah, but like, I feel like this page right here is kind of what makes me think multitudes. Like, the fact that he's just kind of casually like pouring a drink here makes me think that he was intending on only using Coven Akaba as like a last resort.
Yeah, he does seem to have an idea of, again, like civility and friendly debate and things like that would probably have ended up in him just going along with the game if the mutants were willing to play by his rules.
Yeah, like this page here makes me think that if they had stayed put and followed the rules, it probably would have been okay. But also, Richter was probably correct in just going for it here. That's a suspicious phone call. And this dude's, again, been racist the entire time, so like I get it. But
yeah, he feels like he's a brand of racist that actually believes there are compromises to be made, and he's trying to make an example of, hey, if we play the rules, see how nothing happens and everything goes well, as long as we ignore the otherness of it all.
Yeah, we're all just, everyone ignore what makes you unique, and we'll just be civil. And yeah, it's a very, I feel like it kind of nailed like the rich racist vibe.
Yeah, like he's got the talking points, but he's really not looking for a fight necessarily.
Yeah,
he just wants the other side to understand.
Yeah, just
how their existence is wrong.
Yes. It talking about it like this reminds me of people who are like, it's okay if you're gay and everything, but just don't do it in front of me,
Yeah.
He gives me that kind of vibe.
Yeah, I don't think he was planning on like ambushing them or killing them or anything. Like if they had stayed at the mansion, I think they would have probably been okay. They were right to rush though, because I don't think Kovenakava had the same intentions of letting them go.
Yeah, I very much think this was the right call on the mutants' part, but yeah, I think had they had stayed in the rules, they wouldn't have been troubled by Colin specifically. But again, this works just as well, so whatever.
Yeah. Because we already know this is kind of a rowdy bunch, so it goes along with their characters.
Yeah,
they're not going to play like they're not going to wait till the next day to be like corralled by having to play by these rules and not being able to use their mutant powers.
Yeah, like that's
those would be pretty boring, like comic pages.
Yeah, just seeing like Rogue go around and try to like kill warwolves without powers somehow. Yeah, I think this is the better call. But yeah, so they get a werewolf down and Betsy chops its head off.
Yeah, and recommends that, hey, maybe everybody should start carrying a sword when, you need to decapitate something.
Yeah, it helps. A werewolf is chasing Gambit.
Yes, it sounds like they were able to get one skull, but the other one got mad, so Gambit is running. But it's okay, because Rogue is right behind them. But actually, she's not. And instead it is Cullen going full demon, because he is incredibly upset this time.
Yeah. Gets tackled by a werewolf. All of them just kind of look on and decide not to help. But it turns out the werewolf is actually Rogue. And yeah, Cullen is unconscious. They find the werewolf skull on him, and that makes 5.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, a pretty good, satisfying end to the hunt here. And they're getting ready to go when Gambit finds something in the bushes, and he says, this may be a problem. Thankfully, Betsy knows what to do with it, but we'll find out what it is a bit later.
The next page. It's a little tiny.
Page.
It's a puppy werewolf. War puppy? War dog.
I like War Puppy. War Puppy's good.
But Apocalypse is not. So our next page is this little thing laying in like a little grass pile. Apocalypse is not happy. Said he didn't need 5 skulls. He needed the destruction of their species.
Mm-hmm. I very much like the juxtaposition of this very tiny, tiny puppy and just Apocalypse standing there massive next to this thing.
Yeah. So they debate for a while, and it seems like what finally kind of gets through to Apocalypse here is Betsy says, you got to do what you do best and adapt. Like, show us this value. And Apocalypse is like, yeah, I guess you're right. So
he's like, all right, I'll figure out other magical stuff, I guess.
Yeah, so gives it a pet, and we get another data page of, I don't really know what this is.
He does mention like this exchange is going to come at a cost, so I'm hoping this will come back later to bite them in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Betsy specifically is going to pay for this.
Yeah, especially just to leave the werewolf alive. For whatever reason Apocalypse needs it, we actually don't know why he needed the skulls or the destruction of their species.
Yeah. But I guess we will see.
From what we've read, like this is very much about sacrificing something in the possibility space so that that gives him a degree of power.
Mm-hmm.
It's less about, and he says it outright, it's less about the skulls themselves being a component to a magic soup rather than the act of killing off a species.
Yeah. Like that's the important part, and it was werewolves. I think were just an easy target because there wasn't many of them left.
Yeah, even though it said previously in the data page in the previous issue that their skulls had some particular magical property, so there is a component of that. But who knows? That probably gave them more power or something.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. So, but we do get a data page here. This is by Zorn. That is what it says in Krakoan. At first, I wasn't sure what this was, but after knowing it's Zorn who is saying this feels like just a Krakoan horoscope.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, this is just mutant, like, astrology, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the vibe I get. It's just it's really fun because it's, oh no, the stars are speaking to us and they all have names and everything.
Did you
That
know
makes it sound a lot more fun.
a sword with two edges is not the same as two swords with a single edge each?
Yeah, and that means it's a bad week to procrastinate.
Yeah. Have you a song that is haunting you? Turn it off. It's drowning out your truth.
Yeah, and if you were born at sunrise, trust your instincts.
Yep. But yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, just a fun little data page. I don't remember if it has any importance. It might. We'll see. I don't actually remember much of this era of Excalibur.
Yeah.
We get our next page, and Betsy has given the tiny warwolf to Rachel.
Yes, and this is a callback to the original run of Excalibur because when warwolves were introduced, they kidnapped Rachel Summers.
Yeah.
And that was why Excalibur went after them. So to turn it around and be like, hey, you know what, Rachel, you want to take care of the last of their species? I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. That's a neat callback.
Yeah. Betsy kind of points out it was less about like this specific werewolf and also seeing if they wanted to see if Apocalypse would like sacrifice for them. And yeah, it looks like he will.
Uh-huh.
So just some fun banter between the two. We find out that there's a tiki bar coming to the island, which sounds really fun.
Yeah.
And also just a not so subtle here in the bottom corner being like, hey, Rachel's gonna show up in X Factor #1. You should check it out.
Yeah, after Betsy tells her to get a job. So yeah, we might be reading that soon.
Bit of a ways away, unfortunately. I really like X Factor, but we will be seeing her again.
Yeah.
That is it for Excalibur this week. Our 2 issues done. This mini kind of filler arc now over. What did you two think about it?
Yeah, I will say from after our like first little section of Excalibur, I thought this was stronger. Filler arc is probably a good term for it, but I thought it was solid for what it is. I think it let some of these characters shine way more. I thought Richter specifically kind of came through pretty great here.
Yeah, I thought it was alright. I feel like many of these characters give Apocalypse too much of a pass, in a way that makes Gambit make too much sense when he's complaining about them being just errand boys for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's come to the, Excalibur pace that we've kind of learned that this comic is doing, and I wish it would take more to breathe and kind of explore those ideas and questions and thoughts. But for this being a small arc, it's fun. I enjoyed it. I don't like Cullen, but that's the point of him. I just kind of wish there was more breathing room, but it is what it is, I still had fun with it. I still like the werewolves. The baby werewolf is really cute. I'm excited to see where they go next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was curious for a second if there was an element of Betsy being like mentally manipulated while in the mansion, because when she answers the door knocking from Richter, she's wearing this kind of like very classic nightgown.
Yeah,
which struck me as odd
for
someone who should be like on edge and on mission.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if maybe they're playing into how Betsy is also kind of nobility in Britain with her family. Maybe there's a comfort in that, and she did know Cullen from the Braddock Academy.
Yeah,
so,
like this.
They did have a relationship, so maybe that's also there.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe she did lower her defenses.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thought of like, oh, what's going on with this nightgown thing? Where is this going? But I think it was just kind of showing that Betsy's kind of old money as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, do we want to get into something pretty different tone-wise here?
Very different tone-wise.
Uh-huh. Let's go.
All right.
It's Benjamin Percy's Wolverine.
Yep, our boy Benjamin Percy has another story that he is starting here. And I looked into it because I was curious, if he had talked about how he got to be able to write Wolverine as well. He gave an interview with comicsbeat.com where he said he had done a narrative podcast for Marvel called Wolverine: The Long Night that apparently was very, very good and pretty successful. So they came to him and they were like, "Hey, do you want to write Wolverine comics? You want to just do it?" And he's like, "Hell yeah."
I knew about that podcast. It has a mini adaptation of it. I didn't know that was him. That makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah, and that apparently is what gave them the idea to just hand Wolverine to him.
Yeah.
Which I think works in his favor because I think Wolverine fits his writing style very well.
Yeah, and it's also like, this is one of the characters he's using in X-Force, so it makes it pretty easy to be consistent here.
Yes, very, very easy for him to do that. And we're going to see that too, because X-Force does come in here a couple times.
Yeah, in many ways, this feels like a, kind of partner run to X-Force.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, very much so. But to start us off, this is Wolverine number 1. It has 2 stories in it. The first one is going to be The Flower Cartel, and the second one is going to be Catacombs. Both are written by Benjamin Percy, and they were released as a number 1 in February of 2020. And we are opening here to somewhere in Alaska where Wolverine has been torn to shreds by the bodies of his fallen comrades.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's looking pretty rough. He's got a metal skull showing.
Most of his rib cage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he is bleeding out in the snow. Bleeding in the snow. I guess this man doesn't bleed out. Heals up pretty quick. And Jean Grey, Kid Omega, and Domino are just laying here dead.
Yes, and we just get a lot of monologuing from Wolverine about how he is used to pain and going through this. And while this trauma has left him unsure of how he got here and what led to this, he knows that he killed his friends here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think he also understands he wasn't in control of himself when he did it. That's the impression that I got from reading these pages, even if it's revealed later.
Yeah,
Yes.
I kind of got that too.
I think he's blaming himself, but it's more about the fact that he cannot be stopped rather than the fact that he thinks he willfully killed his friends.
Yeah, like I think he knows that he's not responsible for it, but he feels responsible, and like he knows he's hard to kill.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, but thankfully, even in this disoriented state, he sees a pair of footprints going off in the snow, and he knows that the best bet to figure out what happened is to follow them.
Yep. So then we go back in time 5 days ago, and Wolverine's playing hide and seek.
Yeah, with a bunch of kids. And he's doing really, really good.
Yeah. Also, just like having a good time.
Yeah, it reminds me of back in House of Powers, where he was playing with those kids in a field and was generally having a great time.
Yeah, this almost feels like just like a direct like response to that scene. But yeah, he's just hanging out with some kids, just enjoying himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whenever we see him on Krakoa, he's generally happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which for the character I know is sort of not uncommon, but it's not his normal. He's very much the rough and tumble anti-hero who's always on the run, always fighting, and he goes through that whole monologue this entire issue number 1. But it is nice to see him actually, relaxing for once.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, Jean needs to speak to him. So she uses her powers and pulls him out of the forest so the kids can finally find him. And she lets him know that a certain Kate Pride is looking for him over in Hellfire Bay, and the two of them need to go talk.
I love this page here with I think Jean's kind of lifting him up psychically, but it looks like the kids are lifting him by the feet, and I don't know, it's a good vibe. It's cute.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. I really like the art for this whole issue, and the artist who did it this time. Everything looks great. I like the way that they represent Wolverine here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a really good middle point between like X-Men and X-Force, and I think it's a really good look.
Yeah, like it's able to do the dark stuff when it needs to, but also like it can be like kind of wholesome as well.
Yeah, it really looks like X-Force with the edges filed off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Wolverine goes down to the port to go see Kate.
Yep, and she has the smuggled booze for him that she was almost going to throw away if he didn't show up, but thankfully he's here. And the two of them have a really nice heart-to-heart over some whiskey. And Kate discusses essentially what we were just talking about, that Wolverine does genuinely seem happy.
Kate's a talkie drunk.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah, I really like this expanded scene that kind of calls back one of the first issues of Marauders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's like smuggling
Yeah, she's like smuggling the
liquor
booze for
Wolverine.
I have always really enjoyed these two relationships. It feels very much like teacher student, kind of like he's a father figure to her, but also kind of like the cool uncle to her.
Yeah. That's the perfect way to describe this energy that's going on. You know, she looks up to him, and you can tell.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, she does have some work for him, and he's able to sniff that out. Essentially, some of the Krakoan flowers have gone missing, and Kate doesn't know how or why, so she needs Logan to look into it.
Yep. Meanwhile, we go to Baltimore.
Meanwhile in Baltimore, things are bad. Here is where we meet Agent Jeffrey Bannister of the CIA. He is a brand new character for this comic that we are introduced to. He was called in to figure out what this gang-on-gang violence was, and he comes to the conclusion that it was not, gang-on-gang violence. These people killed themselves violently.
So I want to have a note here. Jeff Bannister is standing in a crime scene of a good decent number of bodies slown around this lab pretty gruesomely. Sergio, can you describe to me what Jeff Bannister is wearing?
He's wearing is it a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sandals.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I think that is a good segue into this. I love how we are immediately transported to the newest pilot for CBS's police procedural.
Yeah. This looks like it could be almost any of them. You know, take away the Krakoan medicine part of it, and absolutely.
Jeff Bannister.
It feels like I'm watching like The Mentalist or something.
Yeah. Jeff Bannister just gonna like throw on some sunglasses. This is very much like that character. Like this is the procedural main character that you just your parents,
and I love it. My wife and I, we just watched through all of The Mentalist.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what came into my head as I was reading through these characters' appearances. It's all good stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah, It's big fan. But yeah, so one of the other people there kind of calls him out, like, "Are you sure you're CIA?" And he just says, like, I'm do better at this when I'm comfortable. But yeah, it looks like in this crime scene, all of these people killed themselves horrifically, like stabbed themselves in the eyes with like glass and screwdrivers and stuff.
Yeah, generally not great. And we end with it, him picking up some of the drugs and realizing, hey, this is not normal, this is pollen, which leads us to believe it's probably Krakoan medicine or Krakoan drugs that they're making.
Yeah, because the other thing he kind of points out is like, this is very clearly a drug lab, but this doesn't smell like a drug lab. This smells kind of nice.
Another thing worth pointing out, sorry,
go ahead.
I just wanted to mention was he's got this weird like circle scar on his head.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about.
Yeah, he clearly has a wound of some kind. He's been in some shit.
Yeah, it looks almost like a gunshot.
Yeah.
But it's like straight in his skull. So, yeah, I don't know.
So we're moving on here to a data page, and this time it is about the Order of X, which is a very loose title for the various cults that have popped up that worship mutants.
Yeah, and I don't know. This data page makes them seem kind of harmless for the most part. Some of the really weird ones carve some X's into their face or whatnot. And then there's a line at the end about how some have gone real far and think that sacrifice and consumption of Homo superior is the path to the higher plane. I'm sure that won't come up again.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, so 4 days ago, we're kind of moving up in our timeline a little bit. Wolverine's talking to Sage, who says we don't know how to track this stuff, but then they're able to track it anyway, and it looks like it's in Russia.
Mm-hmm. And having reread all of these, I didn't realize how prominent Russia was as a villain in this early era of the Krakoa stuff.
Oh,
they've
yeah.
They've popped up like a good amount of times.
Yeah, and they are not done.
No, they are very much not done. I just didn't realize they had popped up so much. So, but now that they know that, hey, something's going on in Russia, they're going to have to get there. Unfortunately, the Russian government is watching all the gates, so we enlist our good friend Gateway again, and Logan gets together X-Force, so Kid Omega, Domino, and Jean, and they all traveled directly to the spot that Sage pointed out. But before we get there, we're going to head back to Baltimore.
Yeah, so they've done some tests here, and they've figured out that the street name for this drug is petals. Oh no, the street name is pollen. They give you like an exalted feeling, makes your brain feel twice as smart and your body twice as strong. Bannister makes a crack about how that sounds pretty nice. And then we figure out why Jeff Bannister is in a hospital. And apparently he has a daughter with a lot of cancer.
Yes, I want to say it's leukemia, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, they mentioned
I think
leukemia.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we get the very clear writing attempt to humanize him more as he explains to his daughter that, hey, I'm trying to fight the bad guys so I can get some medicine to you, so you'll be better.
Yeah, and I feel like it also kind of ties him into the conflict as well, because he specifically says, someone's stealing this stuff that you're on the wait list for and are trying to get to make you not have cancer. I don't like that too much.
Yeah, which, I feel like anybody would say that as well. I say, it's like a common used writing technique to humanize a character, but it's done really well. I'm not saying this as a negative. I'm just kind of pointing it out. Like, I really do enjoy Jeff Bannister as a character. As Sergio said, he's the procedural TV show cop, and it works very well.
Yeah. So our next data page is about blood work.
Yeah, a lot of information about blood, how different blood types work, and how Wolverine is kind of this weird anomaly in blood work science, because it works really well until it's outside of his body and it stops working well. In fact, it's kind of like vampire blood.
Yeah, that's also weird. I bet those won't come up anytime soon.
Nope, I'm sure it won't. We're just going to casually drop vampires, it's what we do.
Yeah. So they...
Instead of A or B or AB or O, one might call it E, the endless.
The endless.
I would like to read the peer-reviewed paper of the first scientist to get a hold of Wolverine's blood and be like, oh my god, what are we going to do with this?
So who do you think is E positive and who's E negative? Like, is Wolverine the positive and the vampires are the negative, or...
Yes. I know enough about blood to say yes.
The thing I think this is missing is who wrote this, because I really would like to know.
Yeah, I do want to
know
which in-character person wrote this, like, or in-universe. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I would like to believe there's a section of academia out there in the Marvel Universe that is just solely focused on the scientific research of superheroes. Yeah. So I imagine it's probably something like that.
Like, hey, like, we should study Atlantean blood. Like, who's doing that?
Mm-hmm. Who's funding? What school do I go to if I want to major in Atlantean science?
Yeah, like, what does the Eternals blood type look like?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put a whole doctorate about it.
Yeah, I feel like these info pages are often like more flavorful when I know who's writing them.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of characterization in them. Like even when we got like the also very scholarly writing on powers effects regarding the propagation of the X gene and stuff like that, I thought it was very flavorful to know who wrote them and having that be a character in the story. This feels like busy work.
Yeah.
At some degree.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It does tie in later with something that this comic is doing with the data pages. But I would still agree with you. It does feel more like busy work. I've never really thought about it that, hey, putting a name to these data pages gives it more flavor, but you're right. It really does. So I would have liked it if maybe we had had like even a university attached to this. Be like, all right, who did put this out?
Yeah,
get the X-Desk guy in here and writing in his style.
I was about to say, like, I feel like a good example of this would be like the Marauders data pages with the X-Desk person, because like those are really fun. Just knowing like it's some grunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if it was the same thing but without knowing who it came from, it wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah. So 3 days ago in Russia, they have accidentally ported into the cult that eats people.
Yeah, and I should note that the cult is worshipping in a massive cave that is all tinged red. It's really cool. It reminds me a lot of early Berserk, actually. But it's a good vibe. Whoever decided to hold this meeting here for the cult, good on them.
This is a comic book looking cave right here. I do like it quite a bit. They got a giant rock behind them with an X carved into it.
Do you think they rent this place?
I'm going to assume no, because like that X is probably going to cause like they're not getting their safety deposit back.
No.
So I feel like they just either own the cave or are trespassing, one of the two. That could be vandalism.
It could be vandalism, but are you going to tell them? Because I'm not going to tell them.
No. So yeah, they are. They initially are worshipped. Kid Omega thinks this is cool and dives into the crowd.
Mm-hmm. A very, very Kid Omega thing to do.
Yeah. As these people are taking pollen.
Yeah, and there seems to be a lot of them here. Like a lot of them here. So Kid Omega being crowd surfing in the middle of this drug-induced mania going on, not ending well for him.
No.
So, and like it was said, it is revealed here that they are the cult that believes if they eat mutants, they will become a new hybrid and reach a higher plane of existence. So X-Force has to get into action, and we get this really, really nice double page here of Wolverine, Domino, Gateway, and Jean getting ready to fight, and I think it's my favorite page of the entire issue. It's just really, really nice. Contrasts great with the red background. Wolverine looks sick.
Yeah, it's pretty nice looking.
So, but he gives out specific orders. These people are not totally thinking correctly, so just maim them, don't kill them.
Kid Omega says the cringiest line in all runs we've read so far.
Oh, I prefer to be your god, but I'm happy to be your devil. Yeah, it's
You know he was workshopping that.
He was so excited to say this out loud.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably one of the best days of his life.
Yeah, it is a Quentin. Like I absolutely believe this character would say that, but it is cringy. Cringy's the right word. Like, so yeah, the Order people start dying. Wolverine thinks it's Quentin. Jean confirms it's not. The pollen's killing him. So yeah, pollen might be bad.
Yeah, I do like that Kid Omega does not deny he's doing it.
Yeah.
But it is not him. It's kind of unclear. I don't know what you guys read into this for. To me, it seemed like almost they were burning, but I'm not sure if that was the intended visual effect that they're going for.
I kind of got burning too, like just kind of getting cooked.
Yeah, we get the fictional/fake drug syndrome here of it being too bad. No one's going to make a drug that burns you.
Yeah.
No.
And I don't know if there's something else going on here, but I don't know why this drug would be any popular if when you take it, you die.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they took too much, but it does seem like Yeah, I feel like
That's not how drugs work.
I feel like you getting like catching on fire from the inside out would be a good selling point on why not to do the drug.
Yes. And not
Yeah.
even just one of them, it's everybody in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I guess the drug makers that got killed in one of the first panels were necessarily taking the drug. We will learn why they died later. But yeah, a real drug that gets distributed does not.
Yeah,
kill
would not do
people
this
within seconds of taking it.
Yeah, this is how you don't sell drugs. That's the thing you accidentally make when you are trying to make a better drug.
Hot tips from this podcast here.
Yeah.
How to make and sell your drugs.
Yeah, just don't make something that is going to burn someone alive. Simple. Like.
But we are going to learn more about some of the dealers of these drugs, as one day ago in Moscow, Logan goes to a bar here and confronts one of the drug dealers, or the drug dealer, I should say, that sold this Order of X cult some of their drugs.
Wolverine is wearing his best casual wear.
Leather jacket and jeans.
Yeah.
So, and this guy doesn't want to talk to Wolverine, but you can't quite say no to the guy, and he, beats up some of the henchmen here, threatens the other guy, and asks him, hey, where did you get your drugs? We're trying to figure out where these are coming from.
Yeah.
And according to him, they got them from the Pale Girl.
Yeah, we know he's not important because he doesn't give us his name at any point.
Yeah.
The Pale Girl is who matters.
Yeah. This guy is just some goon. So she sells them the pollen only if they work for her. It's a crap deal. They tried to steal petals at one point, and she got mad and made him burn out his eye.
Yeah, with his own lighter,
Yeah.
which is really gross, and we get to see it here. So it kind of gives you an idea of what would have happened to those people earlier. They might have crossed the Pale Girl as well.
Yeah.
So, and specifically to note also, is these drug dealers here do have psionic dampeners on them, so they can block out people like Jean Grey and Xavier, but also theoretically this Pale Girl as well.
Yeah. So then we get our next page is kind of a dual split thing. Krakoa Wolverine and Beast are discussing stuff, while we also have the other side of the page shows the CIA headquarters in Langley, where Jeff Bannister is proposing they set up a meeting and try to figure out how to get some pollen. Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like the scenes on the left side of the page happen in the X-Force place specifically, so this, again, very strong parallel between X-Force and the CIA.
Yeah, like it's specifically the point, yeah, so I think they're kind of like their CIAs are both making moves.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I really like the parallelism here between the panels too.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I think that's my favorite thing here is the direct parallels. And we learn from both conversations that not only is there a new drug war brewing, but it seems, according to Beast, most people are talking about pollen than actually taking it. And it seems like this cartel, this flower cartel, is killing more people than the drug is killing. So we get some context as to what's going on behind the scenes here.
Bannister here seems to be selling this to the rest of the CIA, saying like, hey, the mutants might be behind this. We should probably just, set up this like cell thing and figure out. I don't think he actually believes that once we kind of get to like a later data page, but I did think that was interesting.
I want Bannister and Wolverine to meet so bad.
Yeah.
I want them to work together already.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it seems like that's where it's going to lead, because we're back here in Alaska, and Wolverine is going on about how he's had a lot of trauma and can't remember things, and how he really shouldn't have people around him. But he does follow the tracks and is able to find the Pale Girl here. He goes to attack her before she disappears as if she was a vision, and runs into what looked to be Jeff Bannister and some CIA forces.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they ask him what he's doing here, and he says he's been wondering the same thing. Yeah, and that is the end of that first part of the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we're going to be jumping into essentially a whole different story, what did you guys think about that one?
I liked it. I really love this CIA guy. I like Wolverine's like internal monologue in these last pages. I kind of dig this brand of self-deprecation that again is not about him not understanding what happened. It's more about him brooding about the reality of his existence.
Yeah.
Which mood?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree 100% with everything you said. I really liked it. I liked the story. I liked Jeff Bannister. I really like the art. You know, we discuss it. No real big standouts like we have in some issues, but just solid the whole way through.
Yeah, it's the foundation of a very like solid thing that has some parallels with Fallen Angels actually. You know, the drug stuff.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that
mysterious
too.
enemy. It's really well executed. I really like it.
Yeah.
I just had to remove the Orientalism.
Yeah, then it gets much better.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
All right. Do we want to go to the second part of this issue?
Yes. Now we are on to Catacombs. And this one is going to be kind of different than this last one.
Catacombs is a cool word. I'm just making that statement now. And
it is a very fun word. It's a fun word to say. Thankfully, we get to say it more as the issue goes on.
Yes.
But we are opening here on Krakoa with Wolverine going through the forest and kind of having a retread of what he did in the early X-Force issues, where he is thinking that, yes, Krakoa is a safe haven, but are they truly safe?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he kind of just seems to be contemplating it in general and how, you got a bunch of villains here. That's a little weird.
Yeah, a lot of things to get used to, a lot of change here. But this is all culminating in the fact that he goes to a gate because a certain villain from his past is going to return, and we see Omega Red, covered in blood and very wounded, walking through the gate, accepting the amnesty that was offered to all mutants.
Yep. So I guess we should probably talk about Omega Red for a little bit.
Yes, please. I meant to look him up. I actually didn't. I thought I did. So I don't know a whole lot about Omega Red other than he looks cool, and he is in Marvel vs. Capcom, I think.
Oh, okay. I wish I knew a little bit more about him. I actually don't know if I ever got to the part where he was introduced in the comics, but yeah, he is a villain from Russia, if you can't tell. It feels like the design was very much kind of made with the Soviet era Russia in mind. But yeah,
very much so.
He was in, I believe, the same program that Wolverine and Sabretooth were in, where they were kind of just like used as weapons. But I think with his, for some reason, if he doesn't kill people, he will die. But I don't really know how that part of his power works.
I actually do know where that comes from for some reason. I'm wondering if that was from the cartoon. But what he needs carbonadium to survive now. And if he doesn't get that, he'll die. And the only way he's able to get that is if he uses a device that will get it for him, or if he kills people. So without the device, which we're going to learn very soon that Wolverine took from him, he kind of has to kill to survive.
Yeah. So yeah, Wolverine doesn't like this dude much and tells him to turn around and go back through the gate. Omega Red wants amnesty.
But thankfully, or not thankfully, Magneto is here and uses his powers to stop Wolverine in midair and tells him that, hey, we're all brothers and sisters now, so you're gonna have to accept Omega Red coming to the island until he does something that means we have to kick him out.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I don't know if Omega Red is worse than a lot of other mutants that they already have here. So I think Magneto's stance here is probably pretty consistent with what they should be doing.
Lots of manipulating Wolverine in midair in these two issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his biggest flaw, and pretty much the only thing that can really stop him is if you stop him midair, he's kind of helpless.
Yeah. Magneto points out that a lot of Omega Red's blood is not his, and Omega Red passes out. And Magneto throws him to the gate and tells him to figure out what the heck is going on.
Mm-hmm. And we're over here in Paris, where there is a car crashed into a nearby little pillar, and there's blood leaking out of the trunk. Wolverine opens it up and finds that it is filled with a whole lot of bodies, including one fella who is not quite dead, and asks if Wolverine is like him before dying in his arms.
Yeah, I think it was more of a statement than a question, but yeah.
Paris not looking great in these 2 pages. I don't know if that's supposed to be the Arc of Triumph.
I think it is. I think it's supposed to be.
But then I would expect this to be a bigger deal if, like, in the middle of Paris there's a bunch of dead bodies.
Yeah.
I would assume so as well, but I don't know. Shrug.
Uh-huh.
This was during COVID, so Paris was mostly shut down.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna go with that.
Okay, yeah, I actually buy that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but we do have a bit here from Wolverine. There's a lot of internal monologue again. But one of the reasons that he does hate Omega Red so much is because Omega Red embodies the worst aspects of Wolverine without any of the conscience. And I can kind of see that, especially as this goes on. Omega Red clearly is very powerful and strong as a good hunter. Everything that Wolverine is able to do, it's just Wolverine does not go out and kill people all over the place. He's more direct about his murders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Wolverine comes back and seeing a trunk full of bodies is not convinced about Omega Red and tells Magneto, like, hey, I was right, we gotta kick him out. And Magneto says no.
Yeah, fun to note here, this place is called Prison Grotto.
Yeah.
I don't know who named it that, but that's a choice name for this.
Yeah, I think this is our first time seeing this location, so that's neat.
Mm-hmm. But also what Tim was saying, it's interesting that Magneto fires back that, hey, there are people out there that would say we are also bloodthirsty murderers, so maybe don't go throwing that accusation around like it means something.
Yeah, and Wolverine throws out, like, a think of the children. Magneto kind of throws back, oh, we can resurrect people. And I feel like Wolverine does have a good point here where, and kind of what I've kind of talked about resurrection before, of, like, even though we are immortal, essentially, that trauma's still trauma. Yeah. And he has a point. If Omega Red decided to just murder a bunch of mutant kids, that's not gonna go away just because they can come back. And yeah, Wolverine also says, like, this is something that he knows, and it's like, yeah, this man has lived for a very long time and is very pained by that.
Yeah, but instead of really answering the question, Magneto once again names drops that the X-Force is their CIA.
Oh no, he just says it. It is our CIA. Like, wasn't X-Force, didn't they originally say this wasn't going to be that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started out as, we're not the CIA, we're something different, and they just dropped the fake pretense that everybody had, and they're like, no, this is what it is.
Yeah, we've completely abandoned it at this point. Like, Magneto's just straight up saying, like, yeah, you're our CIA.
Yeah, I mean, from the first second, it felt like that was just the rhetoric they were using to push it past council.
Yeah.
But everyone had, like, the implicit understanding of what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and Magneto's just dropping it at this point.
Yeah, like, this is what this is.
Yeah, so, but he's using this all to tell Wolverine that, hey, you're part of X-Force. Your goal is to empower Krakoa regardless of what we're asking you to do. So I need you to go fix this problem that Omega Red might have caused.
Yeah. So, yeah, he sends Wolverine in there to talk to him.
Mm-hmm. And with some really nice blue mood lighting to contrast Omega Red's eyes. We have their very tense conversation between the two of them. And yeah, no, they don't like each other.
Yeah, Wolverine again accuses him of having a trunk full of bodies, and Omega Red says, I didn't actually kill them. And says he's gonna go sleep for a little bit, and he tells him to go back to Paris.
Yeah, go to the King's Oubliettes and figure it out, because that's where everything is apparently going down.
Yeah. Wolverine puts on his best disguise cowboy hat and goes off to do that.
Mm-hmm. With the same leather jacket as the last story, by the way.
Is it the same?
Yeah, same one. It's brown. Same one. Unless he's got multiple brown leather jackets, which he might.
Yeah.
So, but he is heading to this bar over here when he is offered a flower by this woman, and instead just tells her to fuck off. But he apologizes and says he's kind of busy.
Wolverine
not
is
so. Oh, go ahead.
very specifically. He apologizes once he sees her. Wolverine gets down bad real quick.
Oh yes, yeah. He tries to do French, and she tells him, "Please never do that."
Yeah. Yeah. He's crushing
Hard. He's not very subtle.
No.
So, but we don't get her name, but she drops a not so subtle hint that where he's going is not going to end well.
Yeah. So we go downstairs to what looks to be very reminiscent of Hell from like a cartoon from the 1950s.
Yeah, a lot of red lighting. Everybody's very sleek and creepy. The guy on stage is wearing like...
It's a pale man with a top hat and with like a goatee. Like...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, saying it's like a cartoon version of Hell from the 50s is a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
All of these Paris pages feel like we've been transported to the 1900s Gothic horror Paris.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I do think they're really trying to like go with that Gothic horror vibe in this little part.
Yes.
Like the thing it reminds me of the most is Vampire, the Don't Not game from 2018, I think.
I can't say I've played that one, but I can envision
It is very much this.
Yeah, the style that they're going for.
Yeah, like 1900s London, kind of Gothic fantasy, urban fantasy setting.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Definitely
this.
going for this.
Yeah, I think you're right here.
Even the like purple lighting, I think they got down pat from that game.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I don't know about either of you. I haven't been to Paris. Maybe it's just like this at night. I don't know. Maybe the sky just kind of turns purple.
Yeah.
So it could be an accurate vibe.
But yeah, so Wolverine drinks some sketchy green looking liquid and realizes everyone's staring at him.
And also that the buzz he's feeling is moving way too fast and his body doesn't feel right. Right before passing out.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to say this is Wolverine's fault, but he did just kind of walk right into this, huh?
This is absolutely his fault.
Yeah.
Like, and even another character is going to call it out later, like, hey, shouldn't you have realized this was a trap?
Yeah.
So, he's off his game at the moment.
Yeah, but his body flushes out the sedative, but he's already been strung up and realizes that he's surrounded by vampires who stick a nozzle in his neck to drink his blood.
Yeah, really gruesome. Kind of a smart idea. I do want to point out here, right after he wakes up, we see a vampire from his perspective, so the vampire is upside down, as is the text, which I thought was a really fun touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
So, but yeah, he is caught by some vampires who are just filling a glass full of his blood to just have a nice drink for the night. But unfortunately for them, they used really bad rope.
Yeah. And also, this is Wolverine. I don't know what they were expecting.
That, too. I feel like Wolverine's reputation at this point speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So, but he is still having his inner monologue about, hey, you know, maybe Magneto was right. I'm not thinking straight at the moment. And as he's doing this, trying to cut any vampire that comes close to him, the woman from earlier who was selling flowers comes in and fries a bunch of these vampires using a really, really cool UV light gun.
Yeah. Wolverine asks her who she is. She just says she's just a stranger, and she has like a a Templar knight gimmick kind of going here.
Looks kind of like Betsy on her Captain Britain
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
it's like Betsy, but with like instead of a British flag, it's just kind of dark colors.
And a big red cross.
Yeah.
But apparently she was using those flowers from earlier kind of as a test. They're dog roses, which apparently vampires hate as much as garlic. I didn't know that. I'll go with the comic's word on that.
Yeah.
But she's busy. She has vampires to hunt, and she just kind of leaves Wolverine hanging, even though he is still trying his hardest to hit on her.
Yeah. So, back on Krakoa, Wolverine has now seen what Omega Red has seen. And apparently the people in Omega Red's trunk were vampires.
Newly turned vampires. So he's arguing that he didn't break any laws because they were already dead, which, touche. He's got a point there, actually.
Yeah. And he mentions the Vampire Nation's been growing its numbers recently. And I guess we should talk about the Vampire Nation.
Please do. It is my favorite comic thing that nobody talks about.
Yeah, so I think this was an Avengers thing. Jason Aaron's Avengers specifically, but the vampires just have their own country now.
Sergio, is there any place on Earth that humans cannot live? Where do you think the vampires would take over?
Is it a place that actually exists?
It is a place that actually exists.
God. And it is, I guess, located near France?
I mean, same landmass, yeah. They have decided to take over Chernobyl because the radiation doesn't bother them.
Okay, that's actually a pretty clever one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
really
fair.
like it.
Okay. They can have Chernobyl.
I believe at this point of the time, I think it was also mentioned in an earlier issue that there was a casual Monster Island name drop. A bunch of monsters have taken up residence on Staten Island with Deadpool as their king.
Nice.
So,
I don't remember that one, but that's cool. That's very Deadpool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just vampires just are hanging out in Chernobyl right now. But yeah, so that's a thing that's happening.
They too put together their own Krakoa and just are secretly living their lives in Chernobyl. But this entire conversation is also interspersed with the bodies that were in the trunk being dissected at the morgue when they wake up and kill the poor fellow that is taking them apart.
Yeah.
Omega
Red kind of blames Logan for making him a killer, and Logan doesn't take this too kindly. And Omega Red even points out, like, hey, I could probably, get what I need from here, actually. This might be a decent place for me.
He wouldn't have to kill other people to live.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe him, because Wolverine seems pretty insistent that he was a killer even before this. So I kind of want to take Logan's word on it here.
Yeah, but then we get the story of Saint Julian.
Yes, then we get this interesting story from Omega Red that says that Saint Julian came upon a stag in the woods that told him of a prophecy that he would be responsible for his parents' untimely deaths. So Saint Julian ran from his parents and tried not to be around them to cause this prophecy to come true. But years later, his parents found him and his wife living at home. The wife let them in, let them sleep on their bed, and when St. Julian came home, thought another man was sleeping with his wife and therefore killed his parents. A story of dark inevitability, as Omega Red puts it.
Yeah.
But apparently, very apt for this situation, as Omega Red says if he wants to learn more about what happened, he should figure out the end of the story with St. Julian.
Go back to Paris for the third time.
He's not making this easy.
Yeah. Yeah, so he goes and finds St. Julian's church, and the flower person's here.
We learn she is part of the Night Guard, which is a holy order devoted to fighting the Vampire Nation.
And more importantly, her name is Louise.
Yes, we now have a name for her. So, but she has a very fun collection of swords, knives, crossbows, holy water grenades, her UV light. But Wolverine's pretty good with his claws. I don't think he ever really needs a weapon.
Yeah.
I love the holy water grenades.
Yeah.
I
Just
also
taken straight
do.
out of Castlevania.
That's a good touch. Wolverine says he thinks he's all set as he pops his claws. Louise seemed skeptical after how she found him earlier.
I am skeptical too.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, he really walked into that one.
But they're going down to the catacombs. But yeah.
It's just skull-lined catacombs.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen pictures of the Paris catacombs?
I have, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of the places I would love to visit eventually, but good setting to hide secret vampires in.
I think did you ever hear that story about like there's some people that set up like a theater in the catacombs?
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. I don't know how like I honestly don't remember the source of it, but apparently like that was like a frequent thing in the catacombs. Like they would find just like little like hiding spots down there.
Are we sure this gothic setting is not, accurate to how Paris actually is?
I mean, it could be.
I feel like having secret theaters in skull-lined underground tombs is very gothic.
Have we ever been to Paris? Anyone here?
I can't say
I
I
have.
Oh, you have?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I do not remember any vampires, but maybe I just wasn't looking.
Yeah, you should try to go down to the catacombs. You might fall through a trap hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like-
just make sure you have Wolverine with you, though, because he can take the fall just fine.
No, you don't need Wolverine with you. You need some holy water grenades and a UV gun.
I'm not
I'd
sure.
take the UV gun.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what I should talk about first here. Wolverine impaling himself on bones he fell on, the UV gun, or this lady saying, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me."
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I feel like she's rivaling Kid Omega in his one-line drop there, although hers is a lot more fun.
Yeah, no, this is some action movie lines. Also, I'm just happy for her not landing on bones and accidentally impaling herself. That would be bad.
Yeah, I kind of like her.
Yeah, Wolverine can take it. But yeah, so the UV gun's broken, so she throws a holy water grenade on him. Wolverine wakes up ready to fight, breaks himself off the bones, but Louise has been captured.
Yep, the vampires from earlier in the bar are here, and they threaten to harm her if Wolverine does not play along with what they want. And all they want is a taste of Wolverine's blood.
Yeah, so he gets charged, he kills one of them, and the rest run off. He kills the creepy-looking one with the top hat that we were talking about earlier specifically.
Yes, the quote-unquote leader of this group. And I do like here that all the vampires kind of turn into these half-bat creatures for a while. It's really creepy and unsettling as they all just go for Wolverine.
Yeah.
But thankfully, after they all fly off after having taken a lot of his blood, we get a callback to that data page from earlier about how his blood is immune to the vampiric infection. And this kind of brings me to one of my favorite things that this issue has done with its dual stories, is it switched the data pages. We are going to have a data page coming up that relates to the first story, but all of the data pages that were in the first half of this comic only relate to this latter half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a neat touch.
Yeah, I agree on that, because like you had the bloodwork stuff from the first part of it. It's like, wait, what does Wolverine being distant cousins with vampires have anything to do with this? And it's like, oh, okay, here's the vampires.
Yeah, here's the vampire story.
Yeah, but so they kind of point out that the mutants have united, and that wasn't their leader, and they might seem invincible, but the vampire nation is growing stronger. You have Charles Xavier. They have Vlad, Dracul, Dracula.
Dun dun dun.
They have Dracula on like a bone throne with like blood tubes going into him. It's a really cool looking image.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It's a cool reveal.
Yeah, it's really, really effective reveal. I think it's really fun that it's like, hey, yeah, you have Charles Xavier. They have Dracula.
Yeah.
Like, just name dropping him like that. It's peak comic books. I love it.
Wolverine should really consider picking up a sub-weapon, though, because Dracula can, like, teleport real quick, and he's got a very short-range weapon. He's just not gonna be able to hit him.
What is a man if not a miserable pile of secrets? Is that the quote? I feel like I'm messing it up.
No, it is.
Okay.
No, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's
Dracula
the one.
has that very difficult to dodge attack where he, like, summons these 3 balls of fire and points them forward.
Yes. I
And
always
if all
die
you
to
have
that.
is like, yeah, and if all you have is like these, like, little claws,
Yeah, like
you're
that's
not gonna get close enough to hit him before he teleports away again.
It's a bad build, Logan. It's a bad build.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would love to play a Castlevania-like game with Wolverine as the main character. It would probably be very hard, but I'm sure that would be fun.
There is a lot of Area of Sorrow ROM hacks out there. I wouldn't be surprised if Wolverine was in one of them.
That was a Game Boy Advance game, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I could see that, because I'm fairly certain there were a couple of X-Men games around that time. So there's a Wolverine sprite you can take.
Yeah, you definitely.
Okay, there is a Wolverine and Iron Man ROM hack for
let's go.
Dawn of Sorrow, which is the DS game.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
That's what we need to do. But anyway, we get to our, I think, last page of the comic proper here of Omega Red walking through the gates of Paris again. And I don't know if this is supposed to be happening afterward or now, but he's talking to, it looks like Dracula here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omega Red just says that, hey, either you're wearing really good sunscreen or the plan worked. And he says, yes, the plan did work. And it is implied that all of those vampires who took Wolverine's blood transferred it to Dracula, who is now able to exist in sunlight.
Yep. And he gives Omega Red one of those synthesizer things so he doesn't have to kill anymore. But also, there's a bomb in it. It's, it just as you do. But Dracula says, hey, you're gonna work for me now. Join Krakoa, but you're on my side. And I wasn't sure how I felt about this, but I kind of like it. I feel like the nature of this story kind of leads you to believe that, yeah, Omega Red's probably fine here and just deserves more of a chance than anyone. And it kind of ends on a more cynical note where it's just like, oh yeah, no, they absolutely shouldn't have let Omega Red in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which calls back to the story of St. Julian that they were talking about, which I think is going to lead to Wolverine being correct, at least for the moment, in that, yeah, no, you should not have led Omega Red in here. This is a bad idea. But because the story of St. Julian is still not over, and we don't actually have the conclusion to it, also leads me to believe that there is going to be something else here going on. I wouldn't be surprised if Omega Red somehow does work against the vampires, but we're not going to see that for a bit.
Yeah.
Another really solid story.
Yeah.
From this, like, two-parter.
Yeah, and we have one last data page here, and this is the data page on pollen, the Krakoan drug that we were talking about. And this is where we learn that, yes, Jeff Bannister's daughter does have leukemia, so it does say that here. But apparently, like Tim was saying earlier, when he proposed this fake meeting with the Flower Cartel, when he said that, hey, maybe this is Krakoa related, all of the government red tape disappeared, and he got all of the funding he requested for it.
Yeah. And it seems, again, this is one of those that I really wish that we had an author for, because who was writing this?
Yes.
But yeah, I think like it does kind of show that Bannister is like suspicious of what is happening around him. But yeah, so we also kind of figure out why he's in Alaska. The Flower Cartel has decided that's where they're gonna meet.
Yep, and that leads to the end of Wolverine #1. Quite a hefty #1 issue, especially with its 2 stories going on here. I really like it. I think it sets it up really well, despite the fact that there are 2 stories going on here. they're very clearly separated. Having them joined together by the data pages works really well. And I'm interested in both and to see where both go for different reasons. So honestly, hats off to Percy for doing a damn good job for a number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I think it's a really good introduction to the premise of both stories and, what the vibe's going to be.
Yeah, I enjoyed both of them. I had a better time with this issue than I was expecting to, honestly.
Yeah, same. I didn't keep up with Wolverine when it was actually releasing. I was reading so many other comics at the time. I was like, I don't want to do a solo issue on Wolverine. That's just too much right now. But I'm really glad to go back to it now and get a nice closer look at it because it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the end. It was a pretty hefty episode here. We had a lot to cover. Next time, we will be discussing Marauders number 8, and we're going back to Wolverine already, and we're going to be covering issues 2 and 3.
Yeah, shouldn't be as long of an episode that time because we don't have a number 1. But I am excited to go back to our friends at the Marauders. Wolverine, I don't know off the top of my head, but I would be surprised if this doesn't finish off both of these stories. The Flower Cartel is issue number 2, and then the Catacombs is issue number 3 or something.
I don't know what this follows up on, but I believe it only is going to follow up on one of those.
Ooh, on only one, okay.
That makes sense. I don't think they would be able to work in these 2 stories into one single, regularly sized issue.
Yeah, and I believe that's kind of why this issue is broken up in Dawn of X as well. But yeah, I kind of liked it, just the whole double thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it works out really well. It gets us the whole arc, together instead of splitting it up over time.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how jovial the vibe is going to be over at Marauders, but I'm sure we're going to have a good time with Wolverine next week.
Yeah.
Or rather, next episode.
Yeah, for sure. Because, man, we have a lot to discuss for Marauders.
Uh-huh.
Which, again, Sebastian Shaw, he sucks. He's just a bad guy.
Yeah.
but we'll get to that next time. So for now, if you have reached this far with us, thank you so much for doing so. If you could leave a review on your favorite podcasting app of choice, that would be great. It helps us get out there and reach other people so they can all join us on this journey through the Krakoan era. If you are looking for us on social media, you can find this podcast on Twitter and on Tumblr at Study of X. If you wish to send us any questions, comments, your thoughts on the Vampire Nation, just go ahead and send us an email at studyofx@gmail.com, and we might read it here on the podcast. Now, if you're looking for us individually, if you're looking for me, you can find me at Soniques on Twitter. That is SAWNEEKS. I'm not active there anymore, but if you want to send me a message, I still get notifications for that. And Sergio, where can they find you?
I'm sorry, it's called X now?
Sorry, my apologies. If you're looking for us on X, formerly known as Twitter, you can find us there.
Uh-huh. You can find me on Blue Sky at Fireblend, because I've parachuted out of X for the moment.
I actually just got an invite to that. I should probably set up an account. So, but
yeah, it's a little barren right now. But it the feeling of being outside of Musk's purview is worth it in my opinion.
That does sound really nice because oh boy, it's a trash fire. But Tim, if they are looking for you to kind of blame someone for this trash fire, where can they find you and why is it Chernobyl?
It's not Chernobyl. I am actually on an estate in England hunting foxes.
Ah, okay. You might not want to put that on the podcast because it is illegal and this might be used against you in a court of law.
I mean, that's nice. If they want to come and arrest me, they're more than welcome to, as long as it's sportsmanlike.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm sure if they're listening this far, they'll know to do that too.
Good. All right, so I think that's going to be your episode.
I think so too. A bit of a long one, but a fun one. So, Until next time, Later, mutants.
Later.
Bye.